Welcome back to Headlines. I'm Wes Austin, and these are today's top stories. First up, President Trump fired Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook over mortgage fraud allegations. Now, the libs are really upset about this. They're arguing that everyone knows the best people to regulate banks are those that can't keep their own personal paperwork straight. Then, Chicago's Mayor Brandon Johnson says that putting criminals in prison is racist, unholy, and doesn't reduce crime. Next week, he'll probably argue that removing fires doesn't reduce the number of things burning down, also known as the Gavin Newsom philosophy. Next, Democrats in neon pink vests held a cringy sing-along to protest the deportation of an illegal immigrant. Democrats keep saying that they're on the right side of history. Sure, if history is America's funniest home videos. And finally, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker tried to brag about living rent-free in Trump's head while standing under Trump Tower. The cameraman deserves an Emmy for Best Supporting Actor in a Political Self-Own. We've got the video clip. And then we go to the comment section. The first comment is on the segment we did about Matt Rife defending Sydney Sweeney. Someone asked if the bathwater Bliss product, is that made with Sydney Sweeney's bathwater? So we will answer that question. And then on the segment we did about the Department of Commerce canceling this grant to a semiconductor research company with a bunch of Biden cronies in it. They canceled $7.4 billion. Somebody brought up a familiar situation with Obama and Celinda Solar Panels, a company from years back. And there's also a current tie-in to the CHIPS Act, believe it or not. Let's dive in. President Trump fired Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook on Monday, citing sufficient cause in a letter posted to social media that referenced mortgage fraud allegations. The allegations claim that Cook listed 2 primary residences. That's like telling the IRS that you have 2 social security numbers. Good luck with that, Lisa. Cook, who was appointed by Joe Biden in 2022, refused Trump's demand to resign, saying that she would not be bullied to step down from my position because of some questions raised in a tweet. Calling it just a tweet is like Hunter Biden saying it was just a laptop. In his letter to Cook, President Trump said that her alleged actions weaken America's trust in the Federal Reserve. He said this: "The Federal Reserve has tremendous responsibility for setting interest rates and regulating reserve and member banks. The American people must be able to have full confidence in the honesty of the members entrusted with setting policy and overseeing the Federal Reserve. In light of your deceitful and potentially criminal conduct in a financial matter, they cannot, and I do not have such confidence in your integrity." So, Lisa may want to start cleaning out her office. Unless, of course, she thinks that she can find a district judge in Washington, D.C. with a case of Trump derangement syndrome. This might take a while. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson thinks that putting people in prison is racist, unholy, and doesn't lower violent crime rates.
We cannot incarcerate our way out of violence. We've already tried that, and we've ended up with the largest prison population in the world without solving the problems of crime and violence. The addiction on jails and incarceration in this country, we have moved past that. It is racist, it is immoral, it is unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down.
Johnson thinks that locking up criminals doesn't lower crime rates. Next week, he'll argue that flushing the toilet doesn't reduce what's floating in the bowl. On Monday morning, ICE agents detained Kilmar Abrego Garcia for deportation to Uganda. In response, Democrats wearing neon pink vests gathered to protest, and by protest I mean seeing like a flock of geese passing kidney stones.
Kilmar is our neighbor, you can't have him Trump, no! Kilmar is our neighbor, you can't have him Trump.
I didn't know Home Depot sold those vests in a desperate theater major size. Somewhere a high school drama teacher is watching this thinking, Maybe I should have been harder on them. Governor J.B. Pritzker just got trolled by a cameraman. Pritzker recently declared in a viral video that he lives rent-free in President Trump's head, and I'm not sure I believe him. Let's watch the clip.
We're very pleased about the progress that we're making. I know that I live rent-free in the president's head, and I wish he would spend some time in Chicago so that he could see what a lovely city we have.
Governor, quick follow-up. What do you do if the National Guard is activated and comes here?
Pritzker claims he lives rent-free in President Trump's head while standing under Trump Tower. That's like your ex saying that they're over you while camping in your driveway. And now on to the comment section. So the first comment we have is on the segment that we did about Matt Rife, where he defended Sydney Sweeney and called a lot of her haters garbage losers. So we had this question from Happy Little Carpenter. Okay, so talking about that Bathwater Bliss product that she was selling with Dr. Squatch, I think it was named. The question is it made using her bathwater? Asking for a friend. Okay. I think it might be. I had to look at this because I wasn't positive. So anyway, this is from NBC News. Sydney Sweeney is selling soap that contains her actual bathwater. The 27-year-old Euphoria actor announced the new limited edition body wash made with a touch of her bathwater. So I don't know exactly what that means when they say a touch of it. A teaspoon, I don't know what, but yeah, I think it did have. And I read that I think that we're all sold out and that people were selling them on eBay for insane amounts of money. I wasn't checking. I don't know that because I was trying to buy any. I read that. I know you don't believe me now, but I'm sticking with that. Okay. Now on to the segment that we did about the Commerce Department canceling that $7.4 billion grant that was going to go out to this NatCast that was a bunch of old Biden cronies, officials that just looked so suspect. So on that segment, somebody brought up this Obama situation that sounded similar. This is from Obama XJ. Don't forget about Obama and Celinda solar panels, 535 million stolen. So I thought we could look into that a little bit because there actually is a tie-in to this current CHIPS Act that we're talking about. And I got this is from National Review actually. The connection between CHIPS and Solyndra is stronger than you might think. Let's see, this article is from April 2024. Is when this article was published. Solyndra is a byword for the pitfalls of corporate welfare and industrial policy. The Obama administration gave the solar energy company over $500 million as part of its economic stimulus program during the recovery from the Great Recession. Solyndra went out of business 2 years later. Can you believe that? 2 years later. Greg Polowitz covered it from start to finish for National Review. It made solar panels, a product so green that Democrats could almost forget that this was a profit-oriented corporation backed by venture capitalists, oil money, and private equity funds, and led by a former Intel executive. The firm was in Nancy Pelosi's backyard, and it was looking to expand with plans to build a factory for the mass production of its photovoltaic cells. But the firm was not thriving, and those venture capitalists were not eager to put their own money on the line for that new facility. Well, that's a bad sign, isn't it? We don't want to use our money. We'd like to get the taxpayer money. So they put your money on the line instead. So the government learned from this verifiable disaster, right? You all know that they didn't. You already know that they didn't, right? And when I read about that whole setup with the Obama and that Celinda, it sounded super political. A lot of former people tied into the Democratic Party and the Obama administration and all their people were either getting jobs there or had friends getting jobs there or provided support for it. It just stunk to high heaven, just like this NatCast did. And then here's the tie-in between that thing that was terrible, and this current CHIPS Act that we're dealing with that Biden had set up. Well, the former Intel executive, so that was mentioned earlier on one of the people involved in that Solyndra. What did I just do? Okay. Well, the former Intel executive mentioned in the editorial was Brian Harrison, who was Solyndra's CEO in 2010 and 11. What's Brian Harrison up to these days? Well, he's the president of TSMC Arizona, the U.S. subsidiary of the Taiwanese semiconductor company that was recently awarded $6.6 billion from the CHIPS Act. Harrison, who is overseeing TSMC's projects in Arizona, said he was involved in securing the federal financing in a media interview last August. So, the same guy that was the CEO, right, of that Solyndra that lost over $500 million in taxpayer money within 2 years, he is leading up this semiconductor company that was awarded $6.6 billion from Biden's CHIPS Act. This is, Anyway, that's it, and I'm a little frustrated. Thanks for watching Headlines. And if you know anyone out there who might enjoy my clips, please send them a link. I would really appreciate it. I'm Wes Austin. Good night.